Well, hello and welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today I'm back working on my Just Because quilt. First of all, can I say a huge thank you. So many of you have viewed, liked and commented on the video. I'm super excited, thank you so much. Now, this panel, apart from the quilting, is done. And of course, it's supposed to be a panel a month, so I've technically run out of work on this. However, because I'm going to be quilting the whole thing at the end, rather than quilting each panel in the way that Corinne is, I'm obviously going to need time at the end to do my quilting. So I did show you this before, but this is my back. It was originally a top, but it's now a back. And I'm going to do my quilting round each of the 9 blocks. You know, the 9 patch blocks. So I'm going to quilt all along that line, and then all the way down that line, all along there and all the way down there. So that I will have a grid quilting, quite big. I could do all of these, but then I think it'll be too much and we'll lose all the detail here, because these were a 2.5 inch jelly roll, which are obviously now 2 inches. Yeah, that's 2 inch square. So if I did, let's do it with a pen so you can see what I mean. If I did my quilting around each one of these squares rather than the whole 9 patch, then my quilting would be, I can always iron this off obviously, but my quilting would be 1, 2, would be there, and then there. I wonder, well actually that's a diamond rather than a square, but I wonder if that's going to be too much quilting. I mean, the white thread on here will be fine, but obviously if I did white thread on here, it would be too much. So I'm not sure yet. We'll decide at the end, but my plan at the moment is that I'm going to quilt the 9 patch blocks. Yeah, okay. So the relevance of that being that because I'm not spending the time at quilting this now as Corinne is, and people that are doing the smaller patches that Corinne's doing, I'm going to need time at the end to do that. So I figure if I'm working a week, maybe 2 weeks ahead, I'm not worried about that. So this is the September panel. I'm now going to work on the October panel here, even though it's September. Also, I'm mindful that there are some blocks that are going to take more time than others. I mean, this was such a big image that there wasn't much time in getting that down. These stamped ones that I've already stamped, they're basically just going to have 2 rows of log cabin around them. That's not going to take a huge amount either. But then when I get to those panels of Corinne's, the Christmas panels, then there's, see if I can find it quickly. I know there's lots of talking and not much going on, but I think the explanation's quite important. When I come to do this for November and December, so we've got, I know it's upside down, it's on its back. We've got this one for November. There's a lot of stitching there, so that's probably going to take the whole of November. especially with everything else that's going on. That's probably going to take the whole of December. So if I'm jumping ahead because of quicker panels, I'm not going to worry too much about that. Also, as I say, because of my stitching time at the end. So anyway, enough talking and rabbiting. If I bring this down and over so that you can see it properly, just double check. Yep, looks like that's in a good place. So I have got the red and gold here. So I brought out some red and gold, some red. I've got the green and the purple. Got red, gold, and green and purple in that one. And I've got greeny gold here. Okay. Now, I stamped these with you, but while you were gone, I just put in Aloysius, which is the name of the teddy bear in my most favourite book, which is Brideshead Revisited. So there you go. So we've got Aloysius and we've got these fabrics. So let's see where we're going. So I think because we're butting up to this gold and this red, ignore that, we need to probably use this one first, and that is just perfect really for you know, the extra length of the log cabin. So I think I'm gonna go, where's my big fabric scissors? I think I'm gonna go roughly 1.5 inches. So that's about 1.5 inches, isn't it? There. I'm going to cut that all the way up there. So that's the first piece. And I'm going to be putting it straight at the top. There. Need to do it this way really. Straight at the top there, and then all the way down that side with an overhang at the bottom, so that when I stitch this in place in a minute, it's gonna fold over like that, and we've sealed our edges, and that's my first piece of log cabin. I'm then gonna take probably this one. So let's take them back out for a minute, Claire, because I'd rather cut them too big, and it's sitting inside 1, 2, 1, 2. So those top 4 squares, I forgot to mention that. So that's going to go on there, and then I feel like these stripes should be going down. So I feel like I want that whole flower, so I feel like I should maybe save that for something else. Yeah, maybe save that. So maybe take this greeny gold. See, I'm literally planning as I go, true Claire style, because I didn't want to come with too much of a plan. So we'll do a little line there. This one I'm going to tear. So then that one will go across there. Actually, it looks like these, unless I've got it in the wrong place. Oh yeah, no, we do need 2 lines. I thought I was getting carried away with myself there and going, what? What? Right. So then this one is going to be short, isn't it? So we're going to have to do this one out of here. So I'm going up there on that line. Sorry, I know I'm thinking out loud and not necessarily making sense of my sentences. I do apologise. So this one is actually going to go on there. Then this one, come on Claire, get your act together. this one's going on there, and then our gold one is going to go, that's it, on there. Then our green one is going to go across there, so we'll do another 1.5 inch out of there. So that one will go on there, and then, do you know what, I've changed my mind. I'm going to put the green one there because that green and that gold, and I just think that will slot under there very nicely. I need to pick that stitching up, don't I? So that's going to go under there, and then we're going to have the 1.5 inches out of this one, trying to do them roughly the same. Don't have to be, of course. That will be that one, and then I think what I'm going to do is, I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but oh, don't cut that, Claire. Find, where's that gold that we used all the way over here, that opulent gold. We can find that, we can then, this one, if we use it on the other side, that'll work lovely, won't it? So I'm gonna snip up here like that, get rid of that up there, and then that will go along there. Or do I do it that way? I better do it that way to make sure I've got enough length, haven't I? So we'll do 1.5 inches up there. Oh, didn't do that very straight, did I? Oh goodness me. Right, well, we'll have to do that one there. So then that'll be the top. We got that and that there. I need another one to go down this side. See, and this is where you keep pulling all the fabrics back up, putting them back down. I haven't, or have I? I haven't used this one yet, so we could use some of that. Oh, no, we haven't really got orange, have we? We need mauve or red. Oh, we could use some of this red. There you go. Right. So we'll have 1.5 inches out of this one. So 1.5 inches-ish. And I think what I'm going to do is move the mauve to the bottom and put that red there, so it's sort of spanning out the green and gold, the green, and then the mauve will be coming down here, ready for sort of working into a mauve one at the bottom. So then we could have some of this up that side, because this is like the edge. So again, 1.5 inches-ish. Put my scissors away because we've done all that now. Oh, don't pull them out, Claire, you need them. Right. Now I'm sure none of that made any sense to you whatsoever. You're probably saying, oh my goodness, what's the crazy woman doing now? So there you go. So that's going to basically sit like that. So I have got a needle and just some plain grey sewing cotton, and this is where it's going to be really you know, quite monotonous to watch, I suppose. I'm sorry about that. And I'm just going to stitch these pieces up. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift it off of my big piece and stitch it in my hands, as it were. And then when I tuck it under here, that's when I will connect it. Yeah, see, there's the line there, so I really shouldn't have stitched that, should I? I'll have to pick that off, but I'll do that later. So I'm going to start with a knot, and I believe the first one was the stripe, wasn't it? Goodness me, what have I done with it? There. So the stripe is the first one. So I'm going to turn it over. As I said to you at the beginning, I'm going to turn it over, pop that down there, and I'm literally just going to do a running stitch all the way. Now fortunately I can see that line through here, so that's going to make that a bit easier for me. Okay, like that, and then we'll work right across the end. And I've got across the end, I'll turn around and come back the other way, so it's a continuous stitch with no gaps rather than the running stitch. You could obviously have done this in a back stitch, and that would obviously have given you a continuous line. But now I'm just going to turn it over and work back across that line of stitches that I've got, making sure that they form a continuous line. Right, so, okay. And then having done that, I will then put my next piece on and just keep going in the way that you would normally make a log cabin. Okay, and then that is gonna iron over like that. Okay, so there's that piece, and then the first one is the gold. Obviously bring that one out first and then put this greeny gold one on. And where's my needle? Here. Ow, just stabbed myself by picking up the wrong end. So before we detach, we better have a knot, hadn't we? Don't want it all coming undone. So, how are you getting on with yours? I've seen more and more people joining the wagon of the Just Because quilt. During the week, lots and lots of videos are jumping up on my feed. Some from people I already watch, some from new people. So it's great in that respect, because it is introducing new channels that I've not seen before. Did I even do a knot? Yes, I did. So exactly the same thing. Now, Corinne was saying about, you know, adding on little treasures and morsels of lace and things like that. I haven't got any vintage treasures from my mum or my nan, because neither of them were sewers. It wasn't that kind of life that they led. So I haven't got anything like that. So I'm just going to have to pick out things that I find beautiful for whatever reason. I'm wondering if I can bully my girls into giving me some clothes from the grandchildren. I can pull out, you know, bits of lace and things from there because they were obviously precious. Just having a look at things like that. Plus I do have obviously bits of, well not obviously, but bits of vintage fabrics and laces that I've collected that I can use, but they're not really, you know, super treasures with memories as such. So right, coming back through the other side and doing exactly the same thing again, coming along to make sure that this running stitch, which is not straight this time, but hey ho, this running stitch, what is it Catherine says? Brace the wonky, to create a straight line that I can then move forward. I have finally finished all of the quilting on my heirloom quilt. I have picked out the fabric that I'm going to use for my edging. So I just need to collect the fabric from the lovely Denise, the lady I keep telling you about. Has got an entire shop in her house. And then I can sit down and stitch my border edge on, and then I can show it to you. Am I pleased with it? I'm very pleased with it. Is it perfect? Definitely not. It's far from perfect, but there are hours of work in it. So if nothing else, it needs to be appreciated for its hours of work. Now you see where this was fraying? This is not actually caught in that stitch. So I'm going to have to give some consideration to that, and that is going to be the perfect place to place one of those treasures to hide that where it's not actually joint. Yeah? Right. So now that one is going to go that way. So we can trim this one off because that's excess now. We know exactly how long that should be, and we can trim this one off because we know exactly how long that one is. Okay, so it's starting to work already. Then the next one, I believe, was the red and gold, which is this one. So this one is going to go to the top of that green and all the way down here. It's just, as I say, basic log cabin. I'm just hand stitching it all. I think I'm just going to put a little pin down the bottom there to keep it in one place. So where's my needle gone? Pick my needle up. That is not my needle. Oh, see, I'm a nightmare, aren't I? There it is. I heard it fall. There it is. Ah, see? Definitely need a bigger desk. So come through here, and exactly the same all the way round. Running stitch down, and then turn round and put the running stitch back to the top to make sure got a lovely closed line. Well, that's how I'm doing it anyway. And if you don't do many stitches backwards and forwards like this, that's when you don't get a very good straight line, I've discovered. So in and out, in and out, and that helps to give you a much, well, apart from that one, see, because I pulled it out, you've got to really stick with it. But then of course you're all much better stitchers than me, so you would have known that already. And now it's travelling, look, we don't want it travelling. So yeah, I'm seeing, as I say, I'm seeing lots and lots of people jumping on the wagon doing the Just Because quilt, and it's amazing how everybody's got a slightly different take on it. Now I've pulled the thread out. Unfortunately, it's a very thin sewing thread, so it should go through there no problem. You shouldn't have that nightmare needle threading that I usually do. Yeah, sorry, I was saying it's amazing how everyone seems to have a slightly different take on it. Right, then back up the other side. That's Boo, you can hear snoring. Poppy and I have been out all weekend, so she's been, well, not all weekend, obviously we've been coming home to sleep and eat and feed Boo and all that, but see, I say all weekend, you can tell I've been filming this ahead, and today's actually Monday. So she's been on guard all weekend, so now she's catching up on her Zeds. So yeah, that's why she's having a really good slaw down there, but she's not talking to me because where she keeps scratching at the saw on her head, I've put a comb round her neck, so she keeps giving me the evil eye. She's not impressed at all. So doesn't seem to understand it's for her own good. Right, so that's 3 of them. See, it doesn't really take long, does it? Put it where it should be and then I won't spend ages hunting for it, although I better still do. So there we go. This is coming on quite nicely, isn't it? And then we've got the last red around the bottom, haven't we? So Now this one should really have been longer so that this up there, but it is what it is. So we've broken the true log cabin pattern now, but hey, sue me. It's because that red wasn't really long enough, was it? That's the only thing, you do really need each piece to be slightly longer than the last, but it's on there now, so take that out. I've ordered new curtains for my bedroom. Yes, I could have made them, but you know, it's too many hours for fun stitching not to be making curtains. Ones that I've got up there are blackout blinds, blackout curtains, which is brilliant because I don't like any light when I'm trying to sleep. But we live on the sunny side of the road and I cannot believe that in the nearly 5 years that we've been here now, the sun has actually faded the back of them. It's amazing. So I decided they were looking a little bit worse for wear. So I've ordered some new curtains, and of course that does mean fabric to play with when I take the existing ones down. So I don't see a problem there, do you? It's dreadful. Once you start doing things like slow stitching, it's a delight to buy something new, but it suddenly becomes a double purpose, because when you buy something new you get to use the old stuff in your stitching. Oh dear. And being fair, I had already repurposed them because they were originally the curtains from my lounge in my old house. So, because when we moved here, we've got blinds and frosted glass, so we haven't got curtains downstairs. So they have already been repurposed before I steal them to cut up, so I'm not going to feel guilty about that at all. So the only thing is they are black. I don't do a lot of black work, so maybe I have to plan a project deliberately to use, because they're big curtains, they're floor to ceiling, to use all that black fabric up in. I wonder if I give them a good wash, if any of the grandchildren need black for some kind of Halloween costume or something. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. Would actually have made, there you go, great backing for this, wouldn't it? So perhaps that's another quilt in the making. Oh my goodness, you're not even halfway into one project, Claire. You're trying to replace it with something else. Right, so we've got it completely covered on the first 4 sides, okay, like that. And then this one, I'm going to trim it off there. That'll be more than loads. This side is having the green, isn't it? So this one is going to go there so that it folds out that way. So, and that'll be the 2 for this side. So, haven't really got enough cotton. Let's get a nice new long piece of cotton. And the Aloysius that I put on here, I just printed off from my computer in Harrington. You know I love that font, and chose appropriate thread to stitch it. Again, just a standard back stitch. I'm going to come in a little bit on this one. I'm a bit boring really, aren't I? It's all standard back stitch or running stitch, but as somebody once taught me, do something simple and do it well, although I don't even know that I do that very often, but anyway. It's what I'm comfortable and happy with, so it seems to work, and if it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. So there we go. I was thinking though that I talked originally, I think I said this last week, about doing a patch or a block of hexes, and obviously I've used them as a frame there, and I've got a few left that I may use somewhere else as like embellishment. So I don't really want to do a block of hexes now, do I? So I'm thinking if I might do a sort of crazy quilt patch and do it like I'm doing this, and then stitch it down through the overlap, especially if I'm filming, because it makes it easier for you guys to see what's going on if I'm not constantly pulling it up and down and moving it around and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, I think maybe we'll have 2 little crazy quilt type blocks. If you're into crazy quilting, I'm sure many of you are aware of Jennifer Clouston's books, but also I absolutely adore the work of Loretta. Oh goodness me, now what is her channel called? Sparrowhawk Designs, Sparrowhawker Designs. Pop over there and have a look. I mean, she did an amazing crazy quilt with a vintage theme, with vintage gloves as the focal point on them. Absolutely amazing. So if you're into that sort of thing, go and have a look at that. That's Loretta over at Sparrowhawker Designs. She's got a YouTube channel. Absolutely amazing crazy quilt using vintage gloves to create a travel theme. Beautiful. Obviously Jennifer's got some great stuff too, but it was the vintage gloves that just threw me over the edge, I think, on that one. So, sorry Jennifer, you were beaten by a glove, as it were. Right, so we come back up to the top. Now, of course, this is our second one on this side. So this is this side. Finished. Crazy quickness. So there's our two on that side, and that is obviously what is going to tuck under there. So that's what you're gonna, that is what you're gonna see. How awesome is that? Might actually leave that one under there. Go under, over, we'll see anyway, whatever. So this can now be cut off. And now we're going to put the gold, but we're not using the gold, are we? We're using the brown. So we're going to pop that on there. Stick that one through there, just to help hold it in place. And that one through there. Okay. That we can trim off. Where's my needle and thread gone? Okay. And off we go again. You can hear Bo fidgeting around in her sleep. She stopped snoring. And rolled over. Okay, so we've got, this is our second side with a second row on it. So I think when I've got this finished, I will leave you in peace, and then when I come back next week we can look at slotting it under our edge in place, because obviously this is going to be the very top of the quilt, and this side will be the very edge, because this is, although block 2, it's in position 1, so there'll be no more adding on to those sides other than the, you know, border fabric at the very end, which is what I'm about to do on my heirloom. So I have to wonder, is that the most satisfying part when you start to put that edge border on, or is that a tinge of sadness because there's no more working with it? I don't know. I think that one I'm particularly pleased to be getting it on, because as I say, it's been hanging around for over a year. I've had so many other projects on the go, but then there's no rush, is there? I mean, gets done when it gets done. Right, going back across. I want to make sure I try and line these stitches up so that I get a closed row. That's better. Oh, it's really thick there. Getting through all those layers. It's quite two quite thick fabrics together there. This is much better because this is two cottons. It's weird that I've chosen to put two thicks and two thins together, and probably not a good idea really, but it is what it is. It's in place now. What's the matter, baby girl? You okay? You're not supposed to chew that cone. Oh dear, she's not happy. But it's for her own good. It's not quite dinner time, baby girl. Soon. Soon. Right. So, there you go. Actually, I feel like I've been here forever. Is that Boo's way of telling me? I'm not trying to tell you about dinner, Mum. I'm trying to tell you you've been there too long. Right, so there you go. That will be my very top line there. Because you remember I said there's the top line. So this is going to come to there, isn't it? We just get those two on there. I think I've been here a long time. I don't think I'm going to bore you with stitching the other two. I'm sure there's one or two of you going, oh please do, we want to see it finished. But for my homework, I'll get these two stitched on. I'll look around and see if I've got some nice bits of lace that I'd like to do a few embellishments with. And then when we come back next week, we'll get it stitched down under these hexes, because that is what's going to join it along with that piece there. We'll obviously straighten that up, or maybe do a little bit of a plique or something, don't know, but you know, we'll look at what we're going to do with that. So as always, a huge thank you for spending time with me today, quite a lot of time. I hope you found joy and inspiration. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.